Hey, is your rhythm and strumming a mess? Be honest. Most players I meet think they have good rhythm, but almost all of them are guilty of at least one of these 7 deadly rhythm sins, and it's slowly strangling the groove to death. Today, I'm roasting the real culprits behind your timing trouble and showing you how pros dodge them completely. Want to fix this fast? Grab your guitar. We're going to get right into it. Let's go. You ever do this where you're like trying to figure out a rhythm part and it's kind of going good, and then you kind of screw it up and you start and you stop and you try to figure out what's the thing that keeps tripping me up? Well, you may be trying to juggle too many chainsaws at one time. So just strip it down to beatboxing. I know, it's crazy. But if you have a pattern that you can sing, you can play it. But start with the singing. So boom, ba-dum, ba-da. Even better if you can tap your foot, maybe just hit percussive strums on the guitar. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum. Then once you got that, you know how it feels and how you want it to play. Ba-dum, ba-dum. And then you go for it. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, tap, tip, ba-dum. And then you peel that layer away and just go back to strumming, right? Give it a go. If your groove feels sloppy, first of all, quit telling yourself, oh, I just don't have rhythm. Oh, some people are born with it. You got to work at it. But here's the thing you might be doing. It's right under your nose. That's tripping you up. Is that you're treating all of these beats as just completely equal. And when you slide off the rails, you fall behind, you don't have a way to reclaim the groove. Listen to James Brown and come back to the 1, 1, 2. So even if you fall behind, 1, 2, recommit your vowels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And if it gets real messy, just chill for a second. Wait for the next one. It's like a merry-go-round. Wait for the horse to come back around on that big downbeat. 2, 3, count along, and then jump back in. Don't just steamroll it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and sing it and say it and play it until you don't need to. And then it's just, I'm not making this stuff up. I see these problems every day and I help people fix them every day in the live workouts we do in our community. If you want to try it, you get 2 weeks free, structured real-time feedback, zero fluff. Check it out. Hey, if you constantly miss chord changes when they're happening, let me tell you what the pros do in one word. It's very, very, very complex. They prepare. They write out the chords. And they see the next chord coming up in their mind. And they get ready for something that's going to match that change. So if you're falling asleep at the wheel, you might be getting too comfortable doing your noodles and hunkering down thinking that the band will tell you when it's time to change. You got to see what's coming and decide. Are you going to hit it right when it changes, or are you going to play some stuff into it? Bring a little tension into it. Here's a bad strumming habit I see every single day, and it's killing people's chances of playing in time. What happens is that they try to go from like quarter notes straight up to 16th notes without keeping that momentum going in between. So they go from something, let's say like this. So they go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 in, 2 in, and they fall way behind when they try to go for that speed burst. Instead of just trying to hit a bullseye every time and stopping, suddenly going up to 16ths, you got to keep that engine moving. So even when you're not playing those 16ths, you've got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 in, 2 in. So I'm playing air guitar the whole time. And then when I need those 16ths, they're just there. I just lower the pick down and they're there. If this is hitting home and you know you've got more groove in the tank, come to Tim's Open Gym. It's our free training zone. Jam tracks, tabs, guided workouts, zero guesswork. Click the link, pick your vibe, and start grooving better tonight, baby. Wow. You know, it's a crying shame, and I see it every day. Students that are working really hard on learning their triads, but then they don't get their muting together. So when they go to play a rhythmic part, they get a lot of these sloppy open strings in there. What do you have to do? You just have to be aware of this kind of Zen art form of having sides of your fingers brushing on strings so that they can make sure they don't ring through. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting the side of my index finger and I'm letting it rest on the 4th string. So that's the D string. And its sole job there is to make sure that it doesn't let anything through. That gives me a buffer so that when I'm holding the top 3 strings, the actual triad itself, I can afford to hit that fourth string and it'll just be a nice percussive sort of punch. If anything, it'll add a little bit of feel to it, right? And then I keep it loose and colorful, but I have a buffer. Be careful if you're trying to control your picking by anchoring your fingers down on the body of the guitar. And then even worse, when I see people trying to make as little motion as possible, like they're going to contain it, then everything ends up happening right here. And you're going to be taking the carpal tunnel to carpal tunnel city, because all of the stress is now right here in that tiny area of those tendons. If you're able to let your wrist turn a little bit more, like you're turning a key, like you're just sort of flicking water off your fingers, just a little bit of rotation, a little bit up and down, and then you just get that motion in there, you'll actually start to float your fingers a bit. So you might be touching, but you're not anchored and cemented down. They can kind of glide around. It's nice and loose. And see, there's motion in my wrist as well as my thumb and my fingers, and they're all kind of helping each other out, and they're distributing that stress so it's not all being bunched up right there. Smooth is what you want. Tell me, 2 picking patterns, which one sounds more like you? Option 1 or option 2? The exact same part, the exact same pattern. Option 1. And what is the difference between that and option 2? All it is the tilt of the pick. If I go flat against a string, it seems like it makes sense. I see beginners do it all the time, but you get caught like you're going over a rumble strip, because every time you hit the string, you bounce into the next one and it gets snagged on it. If you angle it down towards the floor just a bit, it glides through at an angle, and then you can roll over the string. You can decide to make it punchy by turning the pick, but just make sure you're aware of that so that you can dial in or down the punch, pizzicato versus the glide or the rake or the sweep options. Be healed. And if you're finally ready to make triads sound like actual music, not math, watch this next. It's the one video that's turned theory-weary players into pocket assassins. I think AI wrote that. Sorry, I should have proofread it.